Welcome to Daily Overdose.
This is why you're fighting right here. Listen, kid, there's going to be time in your life where people are going to try to rain on your parade. They're going to try to tell you what you can and what you can't do. But this is why you're fighting. You're fighting for them. You fight for all them nights you've watched your mother sit on the edge of that bed and cry almost every night. Where you and your brother, they couldn't do anything and it hurt you, you remember? Listen, I don't want you to ever forget why you're doing what you're doing. You got to understand there's so much greatness that lives inside of you, and if you just get through this and continue to fight, there's greatness on the other side. And I understand that you may be in the dark today, but doesn't the beautiful roses of the field begin in the dark? What you gonna do? You gonna give up or you gonna keep going? What is it that stands behind that passion, purpose, desire that has you waking up every single day to go get what's yours? Because my faith is bigger than the size of a mustard seed. And whatever it is that stands behind that passion, purpose, and desire that has you waking up every single day, what is it? What is it that gives you unwavering conviction to go get what's yours? To do what you want to do? Because there was a point in my time in my life where I didn't have a faith in myself, where I didn't believe in myself. And I began to pick myself up, dust myself off. And I asked the question, what is it that continues to drive you, push you to continue to get up every single day after you've been knocked down? You've been here before. Is it your daughter at home? Is it your mama? Because as I reminisce and watch my mama sit on the edge of that bed and cry every single night, are you back yet? Because whatever it is that does stand behind that passion, purpose, and desire that picks you up every single day, it better be strong. And I'm talking, you will be knocked down. A storm is coming. You will be exposed to the elements. A tornado is coming. It's the faith that stands behind that purpose, passion, desire that got you getting up every single day after you've been knocked down today, yesterday. You may be knocked down tomorrow. And nothing gonna change if nothing changed, so you have to take action. And when I say take action, you have to self-assess and say it is you versus you. When you can look in the mirror and you can say to yourself, I didn't study, I woke up late. When you can say it's me versus me, when you can get very comfortable being very uncomfortable, you begin to grow. You begin to grow, and you don't go to pointing fingers at nobody. Man, I remember I was stripped of everything I owned. From apartments, the cars, everything I came in contact with. I was stripped of. But all through them storms, them trials and them tribulations, I began to soar like an eagle. See, the eagle is one of the only birds that when a storm is coming, he doesn't fly away, but he flies into the storm. And he uses the pressures of the storm to soar. We're using very little energy to soar above the storm, to rise to an atmosphere of peace and security. Don't you want to soar? How would you use the storm to rise, to elevate? How would you use a storm to soar above everybody that told you you couldn't do what you're doing? And what drives you? Because it don't matter how hard you go, when you're on a journey to go get what's yours, you will be knocked down. And I hope it's the faith that gives you the unwavering conviction, the courage, the dedication, what you sacrificing. Because being physically committed to the process without being emotionally attached to the outcomes is flying into the storm. And asking yourself, what can I extract from this storm to soar, to rise to an atmosphere of peace and security? What do you do when people tell you you can't do it? Are the people who are attacking you adding purpose and value to your life? Are you caring too much? Studies show 30% of caregivers die before the person they're caring for, man. Are you caring too much? You putting your expectations on them and they not meeting your expectations. It's just gonna kill you. 30% of caregivers die before those they caring for. You understand? So what I want you to do is self-assess. What are you scared of? About what people gonna think? We all make mistakes, and your identity does not lie in the mistakes you make. It is not the burdens of life that weighs us down, but it's how we handle them. And when adding value to anything, doesn't it come with mistakes anyway? It's a part of the process. And you got to keep the faith and the hope alive. Because like I said, when you lose the faith and the hope, that's when you quit. And people only quit when they get deep into pain and they can't take it anymore. You didn't come this far just to come this far. Have you picked yourself back up yet? I know you've been knocked down. I know time has been tough. I know it's been a rough year. But kid, listen. There's going to be times that people are going to talk about you. They're going to judge you. They're going to slander your name. And yeah, it may not be true, but you got to understand that through the football games, through the pain, through the pressure, through everything you go through, you must continue to believe in yourself. Do it for your mother. Do it for your father. Because there are going to be times where nobody believes in you, kid. And you got to understand, I've been through so much pain in my life growing up in the projects. Kid, I wasn't even raised with my father. When you talk about keeping the hope alive, you have to dig real deep. And taking it back, they gonna laugh, they gonna talk, so what? Let them hate. They just wanna be like you anyway. They thought I would never grow up to have a voice. They thought I wouldn't make it to play pro football. They thought I wouldn't pass the high school exam when I failed 4 times. How many times do they gotta doubt us before they understand that anything we put our minds to, we gonna go get?
Succeeding in life is not usual. It's unusual. You need to develop some unusual habits to earn the outstanding rewards. A friend of mine said, a standard education will get you standard results. You want a lot more than standard results? You need to become a lot more than a standard person.
You have to act and decide simultaneously. So what does that do? You see, that puts up a very curious problem, which in its own turn becomes a bind. This is true likewise of any sort of shooting, pistol shooting as well. That if you aim, if you decide and then fire, you're apt to do things like pulling the trigger instead of squeezing. All kinds of wrong things are done. And you're always a moment too late if you decide first. To try and act quickly enough so that you overtake the preliminary decision. To try not to decide first. And that is an impossible problem.
We intend to when the idea strikes us, and we intend to when the emotion is high. But now if you don't translate that into action fairly soon, now the intent starts to diminish. And a month from now it's cold. A year from now, it can't be found. So act. Set up a discipline when the emotions are high and the idea is strong and clear and powerful. That's the time to set up the discipline. Somebody talks about good health and you're stirred. Right. You need to get a book on nutrition. Get the book before the idea passes and before the emotion gets cold. Go for the book. Start the library. Start the process.
And you know you ought to do this. You really want to do this, but you don't know why you haven't done it. Now, first of all, we know that this is not easy, because in order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I think that among the things that prevent us from acting is the fear of failure. And if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that, the disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing. Because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody that we love very much and care about. We don't want to hurt anybody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. We want everybody to like us and to accept us. And that's not possible.
Life should be an exciting adventure. It should never be a bore. A man should live fully, be alive. He should be glad to get out of bed in the morning. He should be doing a job he likes to do because he does it well.
The fifth law of happiness is the law of expression, which states that whatever is expressed is impressed, and whatever is impressed is expressed. Whatever you say, either to yourself or out loud, is impressed into your subconscious mind. And whatever is impressed into your subconscious mind will ultimately be expressed in your thoughts, your feelings, your conversation, and your actions. The more emotion that you use to express any thought or idea, the more deeply it will be impressed into your subconscious mind, and the more rapidly it will be re-expressed in your life. Whatever you say with conviction triggers thoughts, ideas, and actions consistent with those words, so be sure to pick your words carefully. When you think of a challenge or a goal, and you repeat to yourself the words, "I can do it, I can do it, I can do it," you trigger all kinds of feelings and actions that propel you forward toward doing the things that will enable you to achieve the goal. The sixth law of happiness is the law of reversibility. It states that just as your feelings determine your actions also determine your feelings. This is a remarkable and powerful law that says that even if you don't feel a particular way, such as self-confident or happy, if you act as if or pretend that you have the feelings already, the actions themselves will have a backflow effect and generate the emotions consistent with them. When you act in a certain way, the actions themselves trigger thoughts, images, feelings, and attitudes that are consistent with those actions. You can, in effect, control much of the content of your mental and emotional life simply by moving your body in such a way that it's consistent with the way in which you wish to think and feel. The seventh law of happiness is the law of visualization, which states that ideas and images tend to awaken emotions and feelings that correspond to them. When you create clear mental pictures of yourself as happy, positive, and optimistic, these mental pictures will trigger feelings and actions that actually lead to your being happy, positive, and optimistic. One of the most helpful exercises that you can engage in is to think of a time in your life when you've been extremely happy and to replay that experience on the screen of your mind as though you were running a movie projector. Put yourself right into the picture and re-experience or get the feelings that go with it. You can actually make yourself happy by dwelling upon previous experiences when you've been happy.